Wow, that wind's still pretty strong. Behind me is the Cam and Stone, and in the distance is Bransdale. Certainly feels remote out here. Very little else, no shelter from that wind. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm on the North York Moors and I'll be visiting what is believed to be the most isolated valley in this national park at Bransdale, and at the head of that the village of Cockayne. Winds are forecast up to 40 miles an hour for today, but I'm hoping they'll lead a little bit later this afternoon, and with a little bit of luck I'll find somewhere suitable for a wild camp, spend the night up here. I don't think it's the most remote spot in the North York Moors. In fact, probably won't be. This area is just crisscrossed by little roads and tracks and bridle ways. It's very difficult to find complete solitude, but it is reasonably remote. The area can only be accessed either on foot, which is the way I'm going, or if you've got a car, there is a single track road that will lead you into the village, but there's no exit north. So as places go in the North York Moors, it is fairly well isolated. So I had a fantastic response to the last video I posted where I was wild camping in the Yorkshire Dales, and I paid a visit to its most remote spot, if not the most remote spot in the UK. It was certainly bleak, it was certainly boggy. The weather's a little bit clearer today, and I think the title of most remote spot in England is up for debate. I was contacted by one viewer who swears blind that the actual place is somewhere in the Forest of Bowland. I'm going to have to check that out, but the weather over towards the east was a little bit kinder, a little bit drier, so hence why I've come to the North York Moors today. I've also been given a grid reference of a spot that's reputed to be the most remote. That's somewhere in Northumbria. I'm going to look forward to finding that, but for now I'm out. It's been a couple of weeks and I'm loving it. It's just great to be out, and over the coming few months I hope to visit every national park within the UK and find its most remote spot. It means a long time poring over maps, but I don't mind that. It's lovely just to be able to plan to get out. I've got a fair few miles to cover this morning, but all the tracks are good. Shouldn't be too much wet underfoot, and I've already earmarked a couple of places that are potential for camps. So I'm going to battle with the wind. If the wind doesn't drop considerably, it'll be a severe test for my MSR Hubba Hubba. It's the first time I've had it out in anything over sort of 20-25 mile an hour winds. Be a real test for it. Be interesting to see how it holds up. But the weather's pretty mild. I shouldn't go cold, but I am looking forward to it. So I'm still following the Cleveland Way, and the road's given way to this bridle path. It's still a really good track. I'm making some really good progress. It should eat the miles up, and it's relatively flat as well, which is pleasing. And just over my shoulder there, you can see in the distance Captain Cook's Monument. Somewhere beyond that, you've got Rosebery Topping. So I'm out today. I managed to part with a little bit more money. I was in need of a new pair of walking shoes, so I treated myself to another pair of Keen Tar G2s. The pair that I had was starting to come apart a little bit, starting to let in a little bit of water, but I had done some serious miles in them. I completed the Pennine Way, the Dales Highway, sections of the Cleveland Way, Snowdonia Way, and they've never let me down. Probably the most comfortable pair of walking shoes I've ever owned. Hence, I got myself another pair, and these are absolutely superb. Man, the wind is just savage. It's really given me a battering. Although it's not particularly strong, I've certainly been out in stronger. There's just no shelter from it, there's no respite. I'm really taking a buffeting, but some fantastic views across the Kringle Moor. Scenery's really lovely, but it's making for hard going. And as soon as I can find some shelter, I'm going to dip out of it and get something to eat. Wow, what a difference that makes. Just being able to drop down behind this shelter at the side of the path makes all the difference. Just going to get this sandwich, take 5 minutes, and enjoy just being out of the wind. But that's ferocious. It really is, making it very, very difficult. But I don't think we're too far away from where I want to be. Another hour or so's walking should see me at the most isolated point, and then I'll be looking for somewhere to camp. Wow, that wind's still pretty strong. Behind me is the Cammon Stone, and in the distance is Bransdale. Although we've been following this Drovers Road towards Woodland Rig, it certainly feels remote out here. Very little else, no shelter from that wind. I'm going to continue a little further to where the 3 house barrows are, and then I've got my eye on a wild camping spot. Should be there by about 3 o'clock. So just over my shoulder there, that's where those ancient burial mounds are. And as you can see, it's just me and the sheep for company. Got grouse trying to land there as well. But if I spin you around, I can only apologise for the wind noise, but you can see how isolated that valley is. Not a great deal there at all. The wind certainly makes it feel remote. Not sure what time sunset is, maybe by about 4:30. I need to be at my camp long before then. I'm gonna have to get my head down, start moving again. I'll see you when I get there. So that wind's dropped significantly since I come off the top of the moor and down this side. And I'd seen on the map some old mine workings and ruins where potentially there was a bit of flat ground. I'm not exactly sure there's enough flat ground for a reasonable pitch, but I did find some a little way back that way that was out of the wind as well, so I may just make my way back over that way. There's a beck that runs through here as well, so if I need it, I've got the possibility of getting some more water, but I will need to filter that. But this is great. It's well worth the extra effort. It's only really when you start to look at a pitch that you realise it's not as flat as what you first think it is. The ground's quite undulating, it's got a slight slope, but I think I should be all right. There's quite a few sheep tods around which I've had to kick out the way. It is what it is. I could do with buying a ground protector for this, but I haven't got one, so there's no point in complaining about it now. So I'll just get the tent up and get sorted out inside. Starting to get a bit hungry as well. So all in all, that's not a bad pitch. Seems fairly solid here and well tucked out of the way of that wind, so really pleased with that. Anyway, I'm going to get set up inside. I think I'll use this side to do all my cooking and bits and pieces because it's the one that's most sheltered from the wind, but really happy with this. So there you go. I'm all set up inside. Got my thick mountain equipment sleeping bag for tonight. Didn't want to take any chances. Underneath all that, which you've seen, I've got my Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite blow-up pad. Should keep me nice and warm. Sleeping bag liner over the top. I'll get changed into my sleeping kit. I've got some thermals and some down jacket and pants that I wore previously. And yeah, get some food on. Desperate for a brew. That hot chocolate's good. So as I said at the beginning of today, I had a fantastic response to the video that I posted last time where I was in the Yorkshire Dales. Just wanted to say a really big thank you to everyone that took the time to watch it, leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe to the channel. And if I get half as much engagement with this video as I did with that, I'll be really pleased. So once again, thank you very much. But the light's starting to fade now and I'm starting to get hungry. So I think I'll have an early tea. And I've been looking forward to this for a little while. So I'll just show you. I've gone with the adventure food today and I've gone with a chicken curry. I've got a flatbread to have with that as well. Then for afters, I've also got another grenade bar. Really like that one. The cookie dough flavour especially is particularly nice. I'll probably have another hot chocolate before bed as well. It's going to be another long night in the tent. So I'll probably do a little bit of editing. I've got a couple of programmes downloaded on my phone to watch and a podcast. That really helped me get off to sleep last time. Hopefully that wind will drop consistently over the night. I'm hoping I get a really lovely sky in the morning so I can get the drone up and get that filmed. Past few mornings at home we had some really spectacular skies. I'm hoping that's the same again this morning. But this is lovely to be out. What absolutely glorious rugged scenery as well. And it feels remote, feels really remote once I got off the beaten track and away from that Drovers Road. And I'd like to see how far I walk today. I think I put a considerable distance in, but I've got about 4 or 5 miles to walk back to Kildale in the morning. We'll just have to see how that goes. But I'll bring you back once I've cooked my tea. I'll give you a taste test and let you know what it's like. So it takes 8 minutes to cook in the pouch. Let's have a look and see how this is. There you go. Yeah, that's quite a nice flavour. It's not overly spiced. I'm really pleased about that. But I've got my flatbread as well. I'm not going to go hungry. And as soon as I've scrammed this, I'm going to get my pudding. So it's barely 6 o'clock. I've eaten all tonight's food. I've had 2 hot chocolates. Feeling kind of warm and sleepy now. So I don't think it'll be long before I get into bed. But this wind keeps getting up and keeps rattling the tent. I don't know whether it's changing direction or what, but it's certainly giving it some pasty. Just have to see how that holds up during tonight. I'm hoping by the morning that wind has dropped and I'll be able to get the drone up, get a nice sky, get some really good footage, but we'll just have to wait and see. So unless something spectacular happens, I'll catch up with you again in the morning. Morning. Just let's take a look at what's going on outside. There you go. Yeah, that's not too bad. Wind seems to have dropped off a little bit. Bit cloudy, but we'll take that. So that was a great camp. Had a really solid night's sleep. Woke up once or twice with the wind. There was a couple of times where the wind got up, really shook the tent, but it held up well. And on the whole, I slept pretty good. And I woke up around about 5:30, 5:45, made myself a brew, and then I tried to get some drone footage as the light started to break, but we never got any spectacular skies like we've had recently. And I've got about 4.5 miles back to the car in Kildale. I'm just going to enjoy being out and just the peace and tranquility, because it is a special place to be at this time of day, and I've really enjoyed it. So once again, thanks for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe to the channel, it's always appreciated, and I'll see you next time.